How's it going, guys? Southern Stud back here again with another video. So today we're going to be covering a topic that was actually brought up by one of the people on here. He went to my Instagram, said what's up and everything like that, and I appreciate that. UT Southpaw 20 something, like I think it's like 2016 or 2013 or something like that. I just want to give you a huge shout out because you've been like on this channel with me since the very beginning, and dude, I appreciate you. So thanks for the love. Thanks for all the love that all of you guys are giving to me, even though it's only a few of you guys, but we're getting up there. So today we're gonna be going over my Navy boot camp experience and how that may change and how it has changed according to the accounts of other people that I've talked to. So first things first, you go talk to your recruiter. You get in the DEP program. If you haven't heard me talk about the DEP, go check out my last video, explain what that is. And you get sent to MEPS. I went to MEPS like 5 fucking times. It's not gonna be like that for everybody. Sometimes it might be more than that. Sometimes it's only 1, maybe 2 times. But you go to MEPS, you get checked out, you do the physical, and you got to stand in a room full of other dudes in their boxers while you're in your boxers. And it's kind of awkward at first, but you got to get used to it. Because when you're in boot camp in the Navy, you're showering with 80 other fucking people all at once. Well, maybe not all at once, but you're showering with 80 other dudes regardless. So if that's something that that kind of bothers you, suck it the fuck up, I guess. I mean, it's, from what I understand, it's like that in almost all the other branches. So you get sent to MEPS, you get the green light, you get to come back home, they get your ship out date set and everything, and it's 2 days before you ship out to boot camp. You're nervous as hell. You don't know what to expect, and that's normal. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than what it was. I mean, granted, it was difficult. But I was not expecting it to be as easy as it was, if that makes sense. Like, for me, I expected, like, hard asses, like hard ass drill instructors and shit like that, and like always yelling in your face, no matter if you're about to graduate or you just get there, and I don't know, I had one of those movie cliche boot camp mentalities, and I'm here to tell you guys it's not like that at all. It's gonna be difficult, but that's the point. So 2 days before you ship out, you're nervous as hell, and the main thing you gotta keep in your mind is you're doing this for a reason. When I was in boot camp, I saw a lot of people drop out because they fucking hated it. They didn't know why they were doing this, and they just didn't like it. Well, the military is not for everybody, and maybe it's not for you, and you got to come to terms with that with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to ask that question, is this right for me? And for a lot of people, especially in my division, that wasn't the case. A lot of people said it wasn't for them. A lot of people just fucking gave up. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. But you get shipped out. You spend the night at MEPS. You're up for, they wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning to ship you off. You get to, you get on the plane. You don't sleep on the plane because you're so fucking excited. You get there to Chicago O'Hare Airport, and you gotta find whatever the fuck, wherever they're meeting. And usually it'll be a chief and some first classes, or maybe a chief, and I don't know. For me, there was a chief that was really hard to understand. He was really short, looked like he was like Filipino or something like that. And a really cool guy. He's gonna be straight up with you no matter what. The hardest part for me about, like, right then, like, when I found everybody, they were all in lines and shit, and he came up to me, he's like, do you have any tobacco products? Maybe. He's like, well, throw it away, or you're not gonna go to boot camp. I was like, well, fuck. I came prepared, dude. I had 3 fucking cans and 2 packs of cigarettes. Like, I had to throw all that shit away. So, don't take any tobacco products, okay? And, and if you're going to Navy boot camp, it's best not to take anything at all. Because what they're going to do is they're just going to make you box it up and ship it home. Everything you brought. Like, you will not keep anything you brought unless it's like a Bible or something like that. You get issued everything from toenail clippers, toothbrushes and toothpaste, skivvies, underwear, all that shit. You get issued all of it. Everything that you brought besides religious text gets boxed up and shipped home. So, don't really bring anything except a change of clothes. That's what I did. A change of clothes and a cheap-ass toothbrush. So, and I am so glad I did that. So, you get on the bus from at the airport, and you're making your way to RTC. There's gonna be a video. For me, it was Captain Garrick. Comment below if you're watching this video and you've gone to Navy boot camp and you know who Captain Garrick is. So it was Captain Garrick on this old ass TV screen on the bus. It was like one of those chartered buses with the TV screen that was like this fucking big, and it was like all the way at the front. And I was all the way at the back, but the sound system was like right here, so I could hear what he was saying, but I couldn't see. So basically, he's telling you, you know, this shit's gonna be hard as fuck. You gotta keep military bearing at all times, and to a certain extent, that's true. And that is your night of arrival. So, you pull up on base. Let me rewind here. You're not allowed to sleep on the bus. If you have your phone, you're not allowed to use your phone on the bus. You're supposed to sit at attention, which is straight up, hands palms down on your lap. Okay? Right hand goes on your right leg, left hand goes on your right leg, and you're supposed to sit there and watch the fucking video and not fall asleep. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna fall asleep. So, you pull up on base, you see, for me, I was in the back, so I saw everybody, like, perk up, and oh shit, we're here, you know, what the fuck's gonna happen to us, you know, and everybody was waking up, and they were, like, looking around and shit, and, we get on base, and we pull up to the infamous double doors. Now, the petty officer at the front of the bus, he'll stand up, say some shit. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it'll be along the lines of, today you're no longer civilians, you're recruits in the U.S. Navy, and, you know, welcome aboard, and all. He won't say welcome aboard, because he's not going to say that. Nobody's going to say that until battle stations. We'll get into that later. So, I had the Lizard King, a particularly nasty chief. Not like nasty, it's like, oh, he's fucking gross. I'm talking about, like, intense. Like, that motherfucker was intense. Like, there's a reason why they call him the Lizard King. Anyway, so he was sitting there, you know, knife-handing all of us. Motherfucker had it cocked back and everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, get off the fucking bus, get the fuck in the doors, get in the fucking building, you know. Night of arrival is supposed to be a shock to you. It's not supposed to be, you know, oh, welcome to the Navy, you know. It's supposed to be a wake-up call. And trust me, it's a fucking wake-up call, because if you didn't sleep the night at MEPS, you're not going to sleep for the next 2 days. I guarantee it. Because that night of arrival marks the kind of like a prerequisite to P days, and P days sucks ass. So when you on night of arrival, you walk in, he yells at you a shit ton, you take off most of your clothes. He'll be, if you're wearing a jacket and like 3 shirts, he'll tell you to take off all your clothes up to the last shirt with sleeves. So if you have a shirt like this on up underneath a long sleeve shirt, do not take off the long sleeve shirt. The last shirt with sleeves. Okay? So, he'll tell you to do some shit, you know, welcome to the U.S. Navy, you know, fuck you, fuck them, fuck all that. A lot of cussing. Lots of cussing. and you'll go in, you'll get your sea bag, your ditty bag, your PT clothes, your sneakers, your skivvies, your socks. You'll get the sweats, which you saw me wear in the last video, and I think a few other things like some hygiene items like a toothbrush and toothpaste and that sort of thing. And then you'll get assigned to a division. Now my division was Division 366. So it was kind of late, like kind of in the middle-ish, you know. I think it goes all the way up to like 500 or something like that, or maybe 600. And then you have the 900 divisions, which are like the band people, and then the 800 divisions, which are like the fucking spec war people, special forces, special warfare candidates. Candidates, that's a very important word. And you'll get assigned to a division, and then you'll go to the USS Pearl Harbor, which is pretty much like the holding tank for all the in-processing recruits. And that is not your ship. That is just a holding tank, I guess. But when you're at the Pearl, you know, you won't meet your RDCs yet. You can be put either into a male division, an all-male division, or an integrated division which has both male and female. Guys, don't get any bright ideas. If you're in an integrated division, you will soon find out that it is very, 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 you know, separated. They're separated, but they're the same, if that makes sense. So, and when you're at the Pearl, you'll go through all your in-processing days, the P days, processing days. You'll get all your shots. You'll get fitted for your uniforms, your Type 3s. You'll get you'll start to learn the basics about facing movements and stuff like that. If you don't know your facing movements, it is crucial that you learn them before you go. Because even though they cannot beat you when you're in processing, when you get to your ship, all hell will break loose. And you are going to regret not learning a few simple facing movements. It didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen to somebody that was in my division, and he quit the next day. And we also had somebody who is deathly afraid of needles. I'm talking like absolutely petrified. And if you're afraid of needles, dude, make sure you tell the corpsman, okay? I'm afraid of needles. I am absolutely terrified of needles, but I love getting tattoos. I don't know what's going on with that. However, if you talk to the corpsman and be like, hey, I'm like absolutely terrified of needles, he'll talk to you, and while he's talking to you, he'll stick you in the arm. And then you'll find out that it's really not that bad. Okay. You'll get all your shots. You'll get issued. You won't get issued, but you'll get fitted for uniforms. You're gonna be doing a lot of stenciling. You'll have like a little, almost like a stamp almost, and you'll stencil all your shit with your name and your division number. Please follow directions, okay? Please. You don't want to be that shitbag that doesn't know how to fucking stencil because you're not listening. And then after all that's done, it'll take about 5 to 6 days. Immediately after P days, I'm talking like P5 day, you're getting ready to go to your ship. You're going to do a baseline PFA, and I talked about that in my last video too. It's a mile and a half in 15 minutes, 40 push-ups in 2 minutes, 40 sit-ups in 2 minutes. Super, super, super easy. And if you're thinking about going, be prepared. Make sure you run, make sure you can do push-ups, make sure you can do sit-ups, and they will take care of the rest. I promise you. Alright? So you'll get to your ship, and I was at the USS Arizona. And for those of you who know where the USS Arizona is, it is like, here's the USS Pearl Harbor. The USS Arizona is literally all the way the fuck across base, and then you have to make a U-turn and come like halfway back across base because there's no like, it's in like a different camp almost. And that if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry because you'll figure it all out. You have Camp John Paul Jones, Camp Porter, and then another one. And I was the one all the way, I think it was in John Paul Jones, but all the way back behind the chapel. So I was literally the farthest away from the Pearl, as far as like walking distance wise. And you have to carry everything you're issued. Your sea bag is on your back, your backpack, your bedroll, and it's just fucking terrible because it's literally it's like 2 miles. And for those army guys out there, oh yeah, we had to ruck 12 miles. I understand that, but we don't ruck, alright? We stay on a ship in the water out in the middle of fucking nowhere and blow shit up from a distance. Okay? And so yeah, that was a long walk. It took a while because nobody knew how to fucking move. So we get to our ship, we went and took our PFA and everything like that. And from that day, when you get to your ship, that starts week 1, training day 1. Okay? So right then, your training starts. The RDCs will not have time to teach you the basic shit that you should have learned in P days. Okay? As far as making your rack, folding your clothes. Oh, no, my RDCs taught us how to fold clothes. Making your rack, facing movements, knowing how to respond to somebody. You're going to hear a phrase called sandwiching. So if a chief asks you a question, it's either chief, yes, chief, or chief, or actually, hold on. I'm confusing myself. It's been so fucking long. It's either chief, yes, chief, because you're addressing him, you're answering, and then you're adding that respectful chief at the end. You have to make sure that you do that when you're talking to a high-ranking person, because there are officers at RTC that walk around, and if you don't know what their fucking rank is, you're about to get your shit handed to you on a silver platter. Sandwich everything, okay? Don't say sir, don't say affirmative, don't say negative, don't say any of that cliche movie crap, alright? Yes, chief, no chief, yes, petty officer, no petty officer, maybe petty officer, you know, that sort of thing. It's basic shit. Don't go overboard with it, okay? Now, a lot of people who have been in the Navy will tell you, don't make a name for yourself, stay down low, that sort of thing. And usually, that's the right way to go. But you really don't learn anything in doing that. You're just kind of skating by. I was that person who was... My name got brought up no matter what. And I don't understand why. I was head PO, and if you don't know what that is, and you're thinking about going to boot camp, it's part of the head cleaning crew. My petty officer called it the Nasty Nine, because there was 9 of us, and we all had to go clean the head. Fucking disgusting. If you're going to boot camp, make sure that you know how to fucking aim, okay? Don't leave your shit like your laundry in the head, and clean the fuck up after yourself, because I didn't like cleaning pubes up off the toilet seat after you sat down and took a shit and didn't flush the toilet. Make sure you do that, because that shit is nasty. Head pubes will fucking hate you, okay? I was backup, damn, I can't even think of it. Backup main yeoman, which is like the paperwork guy. If you're not yeoman, make friends with him, because he will help you out in the long run. Make friends with the laundry POs, the people who do the laundry. They will help you out. If you're not part of head crew, make sure you get in good with head crew, because if you get beat right before lights out and you don't want to go to bed sweaty, talk to the head PO. Maybe he'll let you take a shower before you hit the rack. Okay, I was weapons PO. I was part of head crew, backup main yeoman, and guidon. And guidon is that guy who carries the flag with the division number on it. So the guy in the front. No matter what I did, no matter what anybody else did, my name always got brought up. So I was always getting beat with everybody else. If you're kind of husky and you're going into boot camp, you're going to lose weight. Don't even worry about it. As long as you can stick with it, you're going to lose weight. I walked into boot camp 115 pounds. I walked out of boot camp almost 145 pounds. Take full advantage of the peanut butter at Chow. Okay, no matter what anybody tells you. Just don't eat it. Just don't eat the peanut butter like 2 or 3 days before you run a PFA or a PRT, whatever the fuck they call it now, because it will slow you down just a little bit. So hold off on the peanut butter and shit like a couple days before you start running. And take advantage of all the food you can get at the galley, dude. Even if you're not hungry, shovel that shit down, okay? The more food that you put in your system, the healthier you're gonna be. The longer you can get. I'm gonna say the longer you can get beat, but really it's the better you'll feel after. Because if you're not eating properly and you get the shit beat out of you, you're gonna end up feeling like shit, and it's not good. And that's gonna go on for like the next 3 weeks. You're going to be doing a lot of shit as far as dental, medical. You're going to be going all through that shit. You're going to be going to Freedom Hall a lot for PT. You're going to be doing SC mods in the compartment. You're going to be... It's not as physical as the Army, but it's way more physical than the Air Force. And you're going to be doing a lot of shit that you're not used to doing unless you grew up in a military household. I was raised in a military household, so some of the shit was, kind of easy, which is why it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. If you're all the way in the back, like I was, around the USS Arizona range, marching to the firefighting building is going to be a fucking walk. I'm talking like, it's a long-ass walk. Because... like I said, here's the Pearl Harbor, and I'm just gonna shrink this up, right? 2 to 3 miles. Okay, here's the USS Arizona right here. Let's shift this over some. Firefighting is like all the way the fuck over here, way back behind the Pearl Harbor. So it's a fucking walk, and we had to do that more than 5 times. Because we couldn't get our shit right. And the main things that you have to... I'm getting ahead of myself. In boot camp, all you have to do is listen, keep your mouth shut, and do what you're told. If you can do those 3 things, boot camp will be a fucking breeze. Okay? Stay away from the shady people, because there will be. If you see somebody doing something shady, if you see somebody doing something shady, don't talk about it. Because if you talk about it, and somebody brings it up with petty officer, and then your name was raised up, you can get NJP'd for not reporting what the fuck just happened. So, if you want to report it, go ahead, by all means. I didn't make any friends in boot camp because I was just there to get in and get the fuck out. Okay? If you make friends in boot camp, just be careful. Because some people will stab you in the back to better themselves. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's really not that hard, but people make it out to be so fucking difficult. Alright, so week 4, coming up on week 4, that was when we did SAM-T, that was when we did firefighting, that was when we did, let's see if I can remember, that's when we did our second PFA. That's actually, week 4 is when we started working on the drill tape. And that's when we were, our petty officer was a battle stations instructor, well, not really instructor, but a proctor almost. So he knew what to look for when he was judging people for battle stations. So he kind of more or less didn't tell us what to do, but he pointed us in the right direction, if that makes sense. So, we had the upper hand with we were way better than Brother Division. So, that's when you start earning flags, like your drill flag, your academic flag. You're gonna take tests in boot camp. Okay, there's 2 or 3 tests that you're gonna take. Make sure you study for them. Make sure you know your 11 general orders of a century. Make sure you know your ranking recognition. Make sure, there is another one. Make sure you know the Sailor's Creed. Make sure you know all that shit. They literally give you a book with the answers, and they say, here, if you read this, you're going to pass. If you don't read it, you're not going to pass. You're not going to get the scholastic flag. And if you're the only person that doesn't pass, you're going to look like a shitbag, and everybody's going to fucking hate you. That is a true story. So all in all, make sure you do your shit. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Don't cut corners, because if you cut corners, they're going to fuck you up. Regardless, they're going to fuck you up anyway, because that's what they're there to do. Just stick with it. From week 4 up until week 7, it was pretty much just running over the drill tape, practicing for graduation. And this is when people started dropping like flies, because we were literally doing the same shit over and over again every day, on top of what we usually do, which is PT. We go march. You have 11 minutes to eat chow, and if you're the last person in line, like one of the tall people, you better fucking learn how to eat fast. So, eat your chow. You're gonna go back to the compartment. You're gonna do an SC mod, which is like a PT. Make sure you don't skimp out on that, because if you skimp out, that will show on your PFA. So, you're going to be running through the drill tape. You're going to recognize that familiar beat anywhere. And then you're going to go through battle stations. And legally, I cannot talk about battle stations. Let me rephrase that. I cannot talk about what goes on inside battle stations. Just know that whatever you learn in boot camp will be applied in battle stations. Literally, it's so simple. All you got to do is not go to sleep and do exactly what you're trained to do. If you can do that, and you can get everybody else to do that, you're set. Alright? So, after battle stations, you'll have the capping ceremony, and that's when you take your recruit ball cap off, and your RDCs will hand you a Navy ball cap. And that Navy ball cap will literally mean so much at that moment. But I can tell you right now, as soon as you get out of boot camp, you're gonna wonder why the fuck you still have it. Okay. And the commanding officer is gonna talk. He's gonna give his little speech, and for the next couple days, you're gonna be practicing for graduation religiously. I'm talking about religiously. From the morning you wake up, reveille, to the time you go to sleep, taps. Graduation practice, graduation practice, graduation practice. Okay? And you're going to get sick and tired of it. You are. But all you got to do is stick with it. Okay? I learned how to march while I was sleeping. Don't ask me how. I would muster on the grinder with everybody. I would blank out, and the next thing I know, my petty officer is wondering why I'm so far ahead of the group when he called halt way the fuck back there, and I'm sleepwalking. Okay? Don't be that shitbag. I was that shitbag. Okay? But you're going to know the drill tape by heart right about now. And then you're going to come to graduation, and, you're going to see your family and everything like that. And one phrase that you're going to learn in boot camp stays at boot camp, alright? Do not bring it outside of boot camp, because it is literally the most annoying fucking shit ever, okay? You are told that if you mess up in saying something in boot camp, you are supposed to immediately correct yourself by saying, belay my last, Okay? When you take time to see your family or whoever after graduation, leave it at boot camp. Okay? I hated that phrase so much. And when I got back to the compartment after seeing my family, everybody was like, oh shit, belay my last that, belay my last this, belay my last that. I was literally about to fight somebody because they said belay my last, alright? Literally the most annoying shit ever. But after that, after graduation, the next day, okay, if not the next day, you're going to be sent to THU, which sucks ass. But literally the next day, you're going to wake up at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you're going to get put on a bus, you're going to get put on a plane, and you're going to go to A school. Now, if you're aviation, like me, your A school is most likely going to be in Pensacola, Florida. Now, my house is only like an hour and a half away from Pensacola, so I went home on the weekends. There will be phases in Pensacola. I'm getting ahead of myself. Boot camp. So, moral of the story, listen, shut the fuck up, and do what you're told. If you can do those 3 things, you're golden, dude. Golden. Yeah. If you guys want to know anything more about Navy boot camp, as far as like certain experiences like the gas chamber or firefighting, anything other than battle stations, I can talk about. From a legal standpoint, I can get NJP'd if I talk about battle stations. Like, the Navy can actually sue me for talking about battle stations. So, if you guys want to know anything about not about battle stations, but if you guys want to know anything more about Naval Boot Camp, let me know down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments below telling me why. So until next time, guys, Southern Style Dipper out.